Hi YouTube, this is Joe, and I have a helper tonight. He is Jesse, and we're working on a 2004 Chevy Silverado 2500 HD. This model has a extended cab, so it has 4 doors, 2.5, no, yeah, they're half doors kind of. So what we're going to do is install some door hinge repair kit, and these are going to be bushings. These are brass, and these are made by Dorman. They are 38437. I got them from AutoZone. If they don't work, we'll just take them back tonight. But the goal is going to be to disconnect the electronics from the door, take the door off, replace the bushings, put the door on, connect the electronics, and have this working. If the driver's side works, it should be the same on the passenger side. And for those of you who have any other cab variations, this is going to be the front driver's side door. It's the most common to wear out. And we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. Alright, so just to give you a feel of the reason why we're doing this, showing you the bushings here, this is one, and then down here, kind of hard to see, is the other. And then also, down on the very bottom, there's also another, and we're just going to replace all 4. We're taking it off. Trust me, if you take this thing off, you're going to do everything you possibly can while you can. The beauty of this door is it has a strut instead of a spring, so we don't have to use zip ties to tighten a spring down in a vise. I did see a video about that. If you want to check it out, it's 1A Auto. They have an excellent video on how to do that, and I believe that's for like 2004 and older trucks. This is going to be 2004 to like 2007 trucks. Alright, so what we're going to do here is we're going to remove the top bolt here and this bottom bolt here and this bolt here, which is on the frame of the truck here. So we're going to remove all 3 of these, and then we'll tell you what to do next. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is remove this entire paneling here. And the best way to do that is just kind of get down and dirty with it and grab it. It's going to make some snapping noises and things, but that's okay. It's perfectly normal. You don't have to remove the whole thing, just enough of it to get to this panel here. And this is where the money's at. This is where we're going to disconnect all of our connectors, and I'll show you how to do that. But just kind of get it up enough. Probably want to take your floor mats out. And oh, also one other thing we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and fold in the mirror. We have the Tow Pro mirrors, so we're going to fold those in. That way when we're doing everything else, the mirror's folded in, and we'll take the door off. It'll be easier. Alright, so we remove the panel here. The next step we're going to do is we're going to kind of open up the grommet here. And we'll go ahead and get something up underneath there and kind of pry it back. And you'll want to locate where the grommet comes in on the inside. And let's see, our grommet comes in right there. And you're going to want to follow that wire, which should come back up to the fuse panel, which will remove this cover here. And you'll see ours is connected right there. So what we're going to do is disconnect that. And when it's disconnected, then we'll be able to feed all of that wire back out through the grommet hole here, and we'll come back to you when that is done. Alright, so here's what we discovered. We disconnected our connector and we fed it back through. We pried this rubber seal off, and the connector still doesn't quite want to come through the hole yet with this plastic piece on here. So we're going to pry this off. It seems really loose, and it's designed to be loose. So we're going to pry that off, and then the connector will come out through the hole. Alright, so here's why this thing won't come out if you're having trouble like we are. Let's see here. So from the inside, if I can get the camera to focus, there are some tabs. Notice this one's on the top and the bottom. They rotate them here. So see, they're both the same, and see the wire comes through that. So you're going to need to pry at least one of those tabs, maybe both of them, and you can get those with your fingers. If you have small fingers, if you don't, find someone with small fingers. Kind of pry those, and then this thing will come out. Because believe it or not, this connector just does not, for the life of it, want to come out that way. So it's huge. It looks big in the camera here. So we will get it here in a second, though. Alright, this take is for the beginning of the video.
Make sure your windows are down.
Alright, so we tried to lift the door off, and it worked. So the door's kind of halfway off. I'm going to lift the rest of it off here, though, and just kind of show you. This is when you want your second person. So at this point, if your wires are disconnected, lift your door off. So our camera guy is going to stop the video, we'll lift the door off, and then we'll show you the results. Alright, sorry about that. Sorry about that. That was poor planning on our part. We didn't realize the door was so heavy, and we wanted to make sure the door would lift off before you told you that the door would lift off. So, in fact, if your door is lifted off and set somewhere, then you know your door's off. All right, so here's some more information about the part. This was a Dorman 38437, and here's the different components of the part. You have two bottom hinge pins, two upper hinge pins, 4 bushings, 2 washers, and these go, I believe, for the top, or maybe the bottom, but they're washers. We'll show you where to put those though, and 4 locking clips. And so this is the kit. There are other options to this kit. You can get it with threads on the bottom and nuts, lock nuts. That kit costs significantly more, and I would have used it, and I suggest you use it, but the only difference is that my AutoZone did not have it in stock, so I did not use it. So we're to the next phase. These old bushings are the stock bushings, and the way you can tell is up underneath there's no clip to release, so you can't easily release these. There's a couple ways to get these out, and the easiest way is going to be to grind the bottom of this off and pull it out. The other option, maybe if you have a very small sawzall blade, you can cut the top of it off, or you could use a hacksaw and hack against it. I don't want to mess up my paint, so I'm going to use a grinder up from underneath. And you'll notice I have the whole truck interior max stuff. I don't want any grinding bits in my daily driver. If your truck has the aftermarket clips, though, you can go ahead and remove the bolt or pull the clip and just pull them out. And if you do have the aftermarket ones, you're probably doing something wrong because you're opening your door too much to wear them out. So we're going to go ahead and cut these off, and on all 4 of them, and then we'll show you how to put it back together. Alright, just a little suggestion here. We're using a clamp to hold this piece in. You'll notice in the bottom here, this is how the door opens. So we're using a clamp to hold that, so while we're grinding this guy off, it's not going to be moving around, it's all secured. And then that'll hold the bottom one on too. So we're going to grind the top one off first and the bottom. It really doesn't matter once you grind them off. Alright, so we ground out the old ones, and we got this thing out. And you can actually buy these. I didn't buy one, but you can buy them. Mine seems to be in pretty good shape. And then the next thing you're going to need to do is remove your bushings. And mine, there really isn't much to them anymore. And the top one, I didn't even see one in there. It's like it was totally ground down. So the next thing we'll do is we'll install our new ones. And both of them go in up to down. Or they go in gravity holding them in. Notice the new copper is going to be, or the new brass is going to be on the top. Then the next thing we'll do is you can install your piece here. Make sure this little lip, this guy is on the bottom, and it should just kind of fit right in there. And then you're going to put your one with, see this extra space here, this goes on the bottom, and the reason is, see how it hangs down more? There's a washer that goes on the bottom, and that comes in the kit. And then we'll put the top one on, and then you're going to secure it with your little lock clips, and you can use some needle nose pliers, kind of clip those in. Make sure you put the washer on the bottom and no washer on the top. And you'll know if your bracket is bad, this piece here, you'll know if this is bad. If you need to replace this, you'll see, well, see I kind of ground mine away. See this space here? You don't want any space there. And so what I'm going to try to do is put mine in the vise, and then also because I ground here a little bit too much, got a little excited, I'm going to paint that. That way it doesn't rust. And I was very careful, although we almost had a fire here. So this is why you want this stuff. You don't want that to go all in your electronics, so make sure it's protected here. Alright, so I want to show you the difference in between the top one we have here with the new and the bottom here. So the top one, you'll notice really, really rock solid. Just barely moves. The bottom one here, and I'll show you with this hand. There's some serious slop here. Alright, so we have them all installed. All 4 of these guys. And the next step is we're going to set the door on the pins. And there's holes for each pin, just kind of like we lifted them off. So I'm going to set the phone down and see if Jess and I can get this up on there. Don't ever let it be said that this door is light. You will not do this by yourself. There.
Sure.
Yeah, that's it. Alright, it's on. Got the door on. You notice these aren't quite lined up, so what we're going to go ahead and do is line all of these up so the bolts fit in. This one here, line that up. And we'll line this one up down here. And it's lined up now. And then we can run our wire through there. So we can route that in. We can also tighten up the 3 of these, and then we're good to go. Alright, now what I professionally recommend you do before you route your wires through the hole is take your seal here. What you're going to want to do is take this plastic thing, and you're going to want to get it inside of there. You'll notice in the rubber here you have 2 teeth. See that one? And there's one exactly on the opposite side. And those line up perfectly with this and this. And so you're going to want to line that up. You're going to put that in first, get it seated in there just right. Then it's really easy, just click it in the hole, push the connector end in and plug it in. So it's really easy to do, but if you don't know that, it can kind of be tricky. You've got your wires run through there. You want to make sure that your grommet is kind of in a good position. It's not going to be perfect, but just so that your wires aren't kinking too much. And then go ahead and plug them back in and check your keys and make sure that your doors work and all of the functions work, your mirrors work. And then go ahead and button up the panels and you're good to go. Make sure, of course, that you take this one out if you're going to put that one back in, this face plate here. And then make sure this one is on top. And then you're all set. And that's how you fix the door hinge pins in your most dependable, long-lasting truck. Chevy 2500 HD.